Hello people, 7th second here. How y'all doing today? Welcome to yet another set of Danganronpa. This is probably gonna be a slightly shorter set, but not by a lot. Maybe by like 10 minutes at most. I usually try to aim for hour sets, but time constraints say I gotta be out of here in like about 55 minutes, so I want to make sure I have enough time to like put my clothes on, or put shorts back on, because I'm wearing you can see lounge pants. That's what I wear normally when I'm around my apartment. But I need to get out of here so I can get over to my friend's place, because it's Game of Thrones night. It's Sunday time, so it's Game of Thrones time, and I go to his place to watch it. So I want to make sure that I can basically be over there like right away, so that way when I start and when Game of Thrones starts, we can just roll right into it. But enough about that. Thank you for joining me. Let's actually just jump straight in, because we need to figure out what other arguments we're even going to talk about in this, because I have no idea where else we're going.
So this means Ibuki definitely climbed the stepladder all by herself, right?
As far as we can tell, yes.
Yeah, I'm positive.
Then that seals it. Ibuki committed suicide.
Maybe.
If Ibuki committed suicide, then who killed Hiyoko?
A murder coincidentally occurring in the same place as a suicide. Ain't possible, huh?
Oh no, it's possible. It's
Like
just
I said before,
less likely.
It's pretty clear what the problem with this case is. The killer murdered Hiyoko while Hajime was gone. So all we gotta do is establish who could have possibly done that.
Then let's ask Hajime. How long would you say you were away from the music venue?
It was like 10 minutes, right?
I couldn't have been gone for more than 10 minutes.
So they killed Hiyoko and taped her up within 10 minutes? There's no way that's possible.
That's why the killer stalled for time by making the music venue a closed room.
What do you mean, a closed room?
The killer blocked the venue door from the inside to try and keep us from entering right away.
However, that door is the only entrance to the music venue, right? If they blocked the door from the inside, the killer would not have been able to leave either.
Well, kind of.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Which means, when we broke down the venue door, the killer was still inside.
They were?
If that's the case, the only suspicious people are those who don't have an alibi for that time.
Oh, there goes my brain. My brain just explained something to me. We'll see if it's true. Do I have anything to write it down on? Just reminds me how shitty my handwriting is. But either way. Alright, so I have something written down. I'll share it with you guys a little bit as it either becomes completely debunked or relevant.
And that's you two, Sonia and Kazuichi.
Me too?
What the hell? Why's it gotta be us?
Because almost everybody else has given us a place and location where they are normally.
The others all have alibis.
Yeah.
Chiaki, Mikan, Hajime, and I all broke down the venue door together. Gundam met up with Hajime at the motel right before that. And if Akane and Nagito were laid up in the hospital, the only person that leaves is one of you.
There's another person who doesn't have an alibi. You know, Nekomaru.
Still, I want to know where the hell he went.
Me too!
Wait, are you saying that it actually could have been you this time, Monokuma? Because that's a little bit of a different thing than what's normally happened for these games.
Hey, why are you talking like, huh? You're kidding, right? You're not up to something weird, are you?
I hope he's not.
Please stop making bad jokes.
Anyway, if the killer was hiding inside the venue, we should obviously doubt the people who don't have alibis.
What a wicked way of backing us into a wall. Is this his professional skill?
Killer was inside the music venue. Fuyuhiko obviously thinks so, but is that really it? Alright, what are we looking at here? Motel room keys, paper. It's probably the glob, if I had to guess.
The killer was still inside the music venue. By locking the door from the inside, they tried to keep us from getting in.
Okay.
It seems they were trying to stall for time.
How did they lock the door?
Okay.
That door should not have had a lock.
The lock was on the floor in front of the door.
Are you talking about the broken drumstick?
You can use that as a bolt
Yeah.
to lock the door. By doing that, the killer who was hiding inside waited till we gathered together and suddenly appeared.
So they look like they had just rushed over.
I have seen this in serial crime dramas.
The killer was still inside the music venue. By locking the door from the inside,
It's
they
got to
tried
be
keep
on
us
the.
from getting in.
It's got to be on the.
It seems they were trying to stall for time.
How did they lock the door? That door should not have had a lock.
The lock was on the floor in front of the door.
Are you talking about
The broken drumstick?
You can use that as a bolt to lock the door. By doing that, the killer who was hiding inside
What?
waited till we gathered together and suddenly appeared.
So that's blue, which means
So
we're.
they look like they had just rushed over.
I have seen this in serial crime dramas.
The killer was still inside the music venue. By locking the door from the inside.
No, that's wrong.
Okay, I got a little worried because I thought it was like, oh, I got to aim at the chopsticks or the drumsticks, not chopsticks.
Hold on a sec. There's also a possibility that the door was locked from the outside.
Sorry, just having to message people about stuff while we're doing this, so I can let this run while we're doing this, but I'm still listening.
From the outside? How?
Or I guess I could leave that up, and as long as I don't click on the window, it shouldn't make the noise, I think, right?
There was a semi-transparent glob stuck to the venue door. Maybe that's what they used.
I mean, we have our resident chemical expert, the ultimate gamer. What was it?
Semi-transparent glob. Like rubber, maybe?
Like rubber cement?
I see!
It's got to be glue.
That semi-transparent glob must have been glue. Glue?
Yeah, I think so too. It had a firm, gel-like chewiness, and I could smell workshop chemicals the moment I put it in my mouth.
Still so weird that she does that.
Based on all that, I'm certain it was glue.
I didn't know glue was edible.
Oh God, please no. No, 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 no. 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 Don't do it. No. You're not to eat glue. That's not how that works.
I believe it is not something one typically eats.
Thank you, Sonia.
That glue was only applied to the areas where both doors touched. By pouring it in the gaps of the closed door, they must have sealed the venue door from the outside.
And thanks to that, a glob of glue was left where the door was stuck. Yep, it fits perfectly. But if you just stick them together with glue, you'd be able to break down the door easily, you know? That doesn't really matter. The killer only did that to make us think the door was locked from the inside.
They probably broke the drumsticks before and just set them near the door.
What'd you say?
First of all, didn't that drumstick we found seem really obvious? Almost unnaturally so?
What's with this shot? Have I just never noticed this shot before? Why is only her head in there? Why is the camera like panned up? It's like I'm down here when I'm doing my stream. And you see like 3/4 of the camera is the room around me. What?
It was so obvious that it makes more sense to think the killer placed it as a diversion.
Are you saying the drumstick was a trap the killer set on purpose?
Potentially, yeah.
I totally fell for that fucking trap.
Yeah, you did.
Apologize to Miss Sonia and me. However, you're not allowed to slice open your stomach this time.
No, you're not out of the fucking woods yet, sir. You don't have an alibi.
In a quarrel, both sides are to blame. That's why it's better to just have no sides at all.
Okay.
So, during the 10 minutes Hajime left the venue, the killer murdered Hiyoko and created a closed space?
And they also taped her up after killing her, right?
Yeah, maybe. Maybe not exactly that way.
Quick work has limits.
Oh, what unimaginable speed for a slowpoke like me.
If they couldn't have done it while Hajime was away from the venue, they must have done it earlier than that.
Earlier.
But when Hajime got to the venue, only Ibuki's body was there, right?
But was it really?
And when you went back with everyone else, Kyoko's body was there too, right?
Alright, so this isn't relevant anymore because of what's happened. This is basically like, I thought Ibuki was the one who killed Hiyoko. And, did other stuff to it. They, I figured she was the one who did the barricade. Potentially, and then killed herself, but that doesn't seem to actually be the case. So it's not relevant anymore.
But it's possible that the body was just revealed at that time, when Hiyoko was actually killed earlier.
Just revealed?
Of course, the body wasn't revealed on its own. The killer did that too. Here, I have proof.
That scrap of paper. Is that what we found in the baton lighting at the music venue?
That's right, but just what is this scrap anyway?
I know what it is. Do you guys know what it is? The scrap was stuck on the baton lighting in the music venue. I should be able to figure out what it was. Alright, what are we doing? Hangman's Gambit? Yes. Alright, let's go. What are we looking at? What have you given us? I don't know what the fucking first question is. Oh, is it... yeah. Damn it. Oh, boy. All right, so I know what I'm looking for. Oh my God. Jesus, ah! It's starting to get really... We're gonna need one of these in a second. Oh, shit. those get really intense because it's a lot of managing. Honestly, it's probably better to let things come closer.
The wallpaper in the storage room?
It's probably better to let things come closer to the center of the screen and then do them there because it's less movement to collect and catch and destroy and get rid of everything. That stuff's rough.
In the music venue storage room, there should have been black wallpaper that's the same color as that scrap. There was also a tear along the edge of the wallpaper, wasn't there?
You're right. If you overlay the scrap that was caught on the lighting, the tear in the wallpaper, see? It fits perfectly.
I see. So the scrap that was caught on the baton lighting was originally part of the wallpaper.
And what's wrong with that? Does it have something to do with Hiyoko's body disappearing?
It does.
A mere nobody like me isn't important enough to answer that. But if you guys were exceptional enough to identify that scrap of paper, you can figure this out easily.
The scrap of paper was stuck to the baton lighting was part of that wallpaper I found in the storage room. Is it connected to the sudden appearance of Hiyoko's body? If I trace it back from there, the answer should become clear. Alright, let's give this a try. What's this one? Logic dive? Logic dive. Alright. What am I doing? Move, break, jump is triangle. That's the one I was looking for. Wow, you literally have no chill when it comes to this. It was L to jump as well. All right. What is this? Oh, good God. Question 1. It was hidden. Gotta hit them boosters. Let's go. We gotta use that boost to get through. Oh boy. I don't like the fact that you're starting to put those here. Question 2. What did the killer use to hide her body? The wallpaper. Okay, could you not do this? This is actually starting to get a little intense. Question 3. They formed a wall. What? It counts as the other thing? I guess I don't know why my brain thought covering the pillar was directly covering it, not the other way.
It's all coming together.
Logic dives are a little weird, but I like it. I don't mind it.
I got it. Hyoko's body was hidden before we found it.
But it would have taken quite a long time to tape up a hidden body.
Not if it was already taped up.
No, the body was already taped up and the killer hid it, along with the pillar using the wallpaper.
What? They hid the pillar?
Yeah, by wrapping the wallpaper around the pillar, the killer was able to create a slightly larger pillar. So when I first discovered Ibuki's body, Hyoko's body was already there. However, because it was concealed within a slightly larger pillar, I didn't realize that at the time.
Oh. Okay, that's you want to see how my brain messed this up? It's really simple. All right, if you notice, I have no way to put the mouse cursor on this, but if you notice, the lighting fixture ring around the pillar has a little scrap on it. I thought they had attached it to that and put it on there, not just wrapped it around the pillar a bunch of extra times to get that. A little bit of a difference thing, which is why I thought they made a wall around the pillar, not they wrapped it around the pillar. Okay, I see how my logic sort of messed up there.
Well, that's understandable. I mean, it makes sense that you'd notice Ibuki's body right away.
So they used the baton lighting on the ceiling to hang the wallpaper?
The baton lighting forms a perfect circle around the pillar. So using it to hang the wallpaper totally fits.
Then, the reason the wallpaper was covered in so many stickers was to make it look like that killer.
Mm-hmm.
That's how they hid Hyoko's body, and then peeled off the wallpaper as soon as I left the music venue.
But the killer made a mistake. They accidentally ripped off a piece of the wallpaper. And because of that, a scrap was left on the baton lighting.
The killer must have been in a hurry. If their plan took too long, Hajime could have walked in on them.
But going to the trouble of hiding his body and the pillar is very bold and risky.
I mean, I feel like you kind of have to be to try to get away with murder amongst this group.
Crime itself would be much easier to pull off since they don't have much to do while Hajime's gone. They just have to peel off that wallpaper and stash it in the storage room. It's not that big of a deal.
Then, when was Hyoko actually killed?
That is something we don't know.
Point. And on that note, it's about time we shed some light on those imitation murders.
You mentioned imitation murder more than once. But what is that?
Wait, you haven't seen the movie? Really? You haven't seen it? Are you gonna show it to her? Can you show it to her off to the side while we do the rest of this?
Are you kidding me? You haven't seen my masterpiece?
Oh no.
The Wizard of
I hope you guys-
Miami 2.5.
I hope you guys' body is ready for this, because oh boy.
Hey, don't put my likeness in your movies without my permission.
You're pretty noisy for someone who eats mothballs.
Can I hear that again? Okay, did he say moss balls or mothballs? Because I heard both. Or I could hear him go moss balls, not moth balls. I'm gonna have to go back and look at the VOD for this one because I had no idea.
I don't eat moss balls. I just enjoy looking at them. I knew it. There are so many similarities. It must have been intentional.
Ibuki's death by hanging matches the Scarecrow's death from the movie. Not just that, but Hyoko getting taped up after her death matches the lion's death.
Yeah.
It's as if both crimes were replicas of scenes from the movie, although the mutilated Tin Man was omitted.
Yeah, about that. Where's Nekomaru again?
But why did the killer go to all this trouble in the first place?
Based on what we know, the reason the killer chose these imitations isn't that difficult to figure out.
The reason the killer imitated the two victims that were in the movie. To hide the mixing?
I see!
You have to mix up the killing order? It's gotta be, right?
The reason the killer imitated two of the murders from the movie was so he'd mix up the killing order.
Then, Hyoko was actually killed before Ibuki?
Yep.
A valid line of reasoning.
Yeah, it's valid. The condition of Ibuki's body suggests that as well.
What do you mean? If you're going to cry and beg like that, then I guess I'll hear about the condition of Ibuki's body.
I'm not even crying.
I'll let you sob as much as you want later. Just hurry up and tell me before I change my mind.
Why are you suddenly getting so aggressive, Gundam? What the fuck?
What a jerk!
Oh, I see. You want me to explain it to you, right? Because you don't understand what I'm saying, right?
An even bigger jerk? Impossible!
What the fuck?
Ibuki died because she hanged herself, right? That means when she was still alive, her feet were touching the floor.
What's wrong with that?
But it seems Ibuki was still standing when Hyoko was killed. That would mean Hyoko was killed before Ibuki.
How light. Your words are so light as the sylph's feather. Your opponent is out of your league. It is too absurd to try to perplex me so inadequately.
Man, he's being annoying again.
Yeah, he must have had some caffeine today or something. I don't know what's going on.
First and foremost, you claim Ibuki's feet were touching the floor when Hiyoko was killed. How can a low-class creature with no psychic abilities like you know something like that?
Because she was doing something that's only possible if her feet were on the floor.
It seems you suffer from a pathetic delusion.
You're one to talk.
I was gonna say, hot damn. Anyway, if this continues, we're just gonna talk in circles. I think it's best if we clarify Ibuki's status when Hiyoko was killed. Alright, so this is probably like... This is probably the feet. Yeah, the blood on the soles is probably what we're looking at. Unless we have to pull a statement in. Alright, let's see what they say.
When Hiyoko died, Ibuki's feet were on the floor.
I am telling you to present your evidence.
Did you see her walking?
If her feet were on the floor, was there any sign she stepped on something?
Were there even any footprints at the crime scene?
Maybe her feet were on the floor. But she was like sitting or something. So instead, there'd be a mark on her ass.
Weak, 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 I say! It doesn't even pierce my heart.
Was there a thing in that statement?
When Hiyoko died, Ibuki's feet were on the floor.
Oh, this is an agreement.
I'm telling you to present your evidence.
Did you see her walking?
If her feet were on the floor, was there any sign she
Stepped on something?
Were there even any footprints at the crime scene?
Can you not start that in
Maybe her feet were
speed
on the
mode?
floor. But she was like sitting or something.
So instead, there'd be a mark. Weak, weak, weak. It doesn't even pierce
My heart.
When Hiyoko died, Ibuki's feet were on...
I am telling you to present. Did you see her walking?
If her feet
were on the floor, was there any sign she stepped on something?
were there even any footprints at the crime scene?
Okay, hang on. Oh, I'm doing it in the wrong order.
Maybe her feet were on it, but she was like sitting or something. So instead, there'd be a mark. Weak, weak, weak. It doesn't even pierce my heart.
When Hiyoko died, Ibuki's feet were on...
I am telling you to present. Did you see her walking?
If her feet were on, was there any
Sign she stepped on? I agree with that.
I forgot that it wasn't that you take those, that you're shooting them to agree with them. Sorry.
Just as Sonia said, Ibuki stepped on something. That something was blood. There were faint blood stains on the soles of her slippers.
That is not Ibuki's blood, right? She suffered no external injuries.
Nope.
Then it's Hiyoko's blood.
Hyoko's only wound was a fatal slice on her neck. And she died almost instantly, right?
If Ibuki stepped on her blood...
It means Ibuki was still standing when Hiyoko was mortally wounded. Which means Ibuki was still alive at the exact moment Hiyoko was killed.
Don't underestimate the power of the evil eye! Is that it? A shepherd dressed in his Sunday's finest still reeks of lamb, Hajime Hinata.
What is even... What is even...
Does that mean you have a rebuttal?
Does that mean you have a rebuttal? That's a good line. But
The fuck?
are you sure you're sure? If I show you how serious I am, this world might be destroyed, you know.
Oh, fine. Do it.
You're so frightened you can't even make a sound. It seems you've realized our difference in status. However, the time for conviction starts now. You better entertain me to the fullest.
Alright. So, sword time.
You're saying the blood on Ibuki's feet belonged to Hiyoko? Ha! Impossible! Try to remember the crime scene. There was no... You can't step on blood that was never there. Just about one... Did you see a nice nightmare?
What?
You're saying the blood on Ibuki's feet belonged to Hiyoko? Ha! Impossible! Try to remember the crime scene. There was no blood on the floor. You can't step on blood that was never there. Just about one... Did you see a nice nightmare?
What in the hell?
As long as Ibuki's body has no open wounds, there's no doubt that that blood is Hyoko's.
Hiyoko was taped to the pillar, yes. But it's possible that the pillar still had blood on it. However, you cannot step on the pillar with your feet. You should feel proud of it. It's been nearly 3 years since I've had to use 60% of my power.
What? Am I having to use a different...
You're saying the blood on Ibuki's feet belonged to Hiyoko? Ha! Impossible! Try to remember the crime scene. There was no... You can't step on blood that was never there. Just about 1 minute. Did you see a nice nightmare?
I hate these sequences. I'm not going to lie.
You're saying the blood on Ibuki's... Ha! Impossible! Try to remember the crime scene. There was no blood on the floor.
Allow me to cut through those words. That's not it. The reason there was no blood on the floor is because the killer wiped it away afterward.
Don't say such foolish things! You don't have proof of that at all!
Yes, I do. If you look closely, there's a streak on the floor where blood was wiped away.
When the killer tried to hide Hyoko's body, they probably cleaned the blood at the same time, but... Ibuki must have already stepped in it, and the killer probably didn't even realize it.
The reason they wiped off the blood on the floor was so we'd mix up the order of the murders, right?
More of this mixing up of the order of the murders. That seems to be a very, very central tenet of this set of crimes.
Even if they're able to hide Hyoko's body, it'd be bad if her blood was left out in the open.
Plus, Ibuki's body was left out in the open, and it wasn't bleeding from any open wounds at all.
Hyoko's body was probably wrapped in duct tape to stop her bleeding. Actually, the bleeding will stop once the heart stops beating. So I don't think they had to go that far.
Aside from Mikon, none of us were aware of that fact. So the killer probably did not
Let me
know
read this again. Let me read this statement again. Yoko's body was probably wrapped in duct tape to stop her bleeding. I see the bleeding won't stop once the heart will stop once the heart stops beating. So I don't think they had to go that far.
either.
Maybe the heater was running inside the music venue so it would screw with Mikon's autopsy?
Yup.
That's right! I didn't know the time of death because of the heater!
If the time of death wasn't mentioned in the Monokuma file just to keep concrete evidence from us.
Yep. Since we have all this evidence, there's no one else who wants to object, right? Then it's decided. Hiyoko was killed before Ibuki.
It appears that it is wiser to retreat for now. Fine then, but regardless of good or evil, there's no deceit in upholding one's convictions.
Maybe. I don't know, Gundam. What are you
Can't
doing?
you just shut up and back off?
Now then, let us resume our debate.
Ah, wait a sec. There's something I want to run by Monokuma first.
Huh? Again? Didn't something like this happen last time, too?
Hey, if the victim actually committed suicide, what are we supposed to do?
Suicide?
Same as always. You have to vote for who the killer is. Think about it. A suicide means you've killed the most important existence of all, yourself. Unfortunately, that means there's no Blacken to punish, but I guess in a pinch, I can always punish Monami.
Because you're there, I guess?
Nagito, what do you mean? If the victim actually committed suicide?
Well, I mean, I understand Hyoko's death, but I'm wondering if Ibuki was really murdered. For example, it's possible Ibuki killed Hyoko, and then committed suicide due to a guilty conscience, right?
That's very possible.
That's totally impossible. Then she never would have killed her to begin with.
I don't know.
She was afflicted by the despair disease, remember? That means anything can happen.
But if Ibuki's the killer, she wouldn't have been able to falsify the sequence of the murders, right? After Hajime saw the hanged body, the sudden appearance of Hiyoko's body soon after means the killer had to be alive at that time.
Then she was alive. When Hajime first discovered Ibuki, she was just pretending to be dead. If she waited until Hajime left, that's when she could have made her move and mess with the crime scene.
That doesn't make any sense.
She hanged herself. Remember? There's no fucking way she could have faked that.
And if she was going to fake her death, I think she wouldn't have chosen hanging.
Yeah, none of that makes sense, Nagito.
Her body would have been defenseless in that state. If anyone touched her, that alone would have ruined her plan.
I see. So that means there's no doubt that someone killed those two. I'm glad. Now I'm free to search for the killer.
Okay, my brain is like looping trying to figure out what the fuck he just said. All right, so let's roll up for a second and go through this. It's possible Ibuki committed suicide. She never would have killed. If Ibuki was the killer, she wouldn't have been able to falsify the sequence of the murders, right? After Hajime saw the hanged body, the sudden appearance of Hyoko's body soon after means the killer had to be alive at the time. She was okay. When Hajime first discovered Ibuki, she's just pretending to be dead. She waited until Hajime left. She would have made things worse and removed the crime scene. And if she's going to fake her death, she wouldn't have chosen hanging. Her body would have been defenseless. Okay. Sure.
What the heck?
There's still one more issue on my mind. If Ibuki didn't commit suicide, then just what was that video Hajime saw?
I'm surprised nobody has brought up the fact that she was extremely susceptible to suggestion at this point.
According to that video you saw, Ibuki was by herself when she climbed the stepladder, right? Then does that mean someone forced her to do it?
Forced? Perhaps they used hypnotism or something?
I don't know anything about that.
Don't say it all proud.
Putting that aside, it seems obvious that the killer did something. So, maybe we should figure out who was able to do whatever that was.
So, an alibi. Then our plan is to destroy the weakest alibi. Since Hajime has seen the video, it is clear what time the crime took place.
Is it? Is it?
But just to be sure, that surveillance camera doesn't have a record function, right?
It's a cheap-ass surveillance camera, you know? There's no way it'd have some kind of sweet recording feature.
But could you tell the difference between someone holding up a screen with a recording playing on it versus something actually happening live?
Then, the video Hajime saw was actually live?
I'm not sure.
What time did Hajime see that video?
I saw it at the hospital, right before Monokuma's morning announcement.
So like
And I
9:50?
saw the body at the music venue a little after Monokuma's announcement.
So Ibuki hanged herself right before Monokuma's announcement. And since we established that Hiyoko was killed before Ibuki, that means the time that the murders occurred was before and during the announcement.
Then, we just have to find the person who doesn't have an alibi during that time?
Now then, I shall issue my decree. Let Operation Destroy the Weakest Alibi commence.
Like, what? Much as I hate to do it like that. That is where I'm going to cut the set. Because it's a good stopping point. We're in the next phase of the trial. And I got to get going. So, thank you guys all for hanging around with me. You guys have all been awesome. If you're watching this on Twitch, thank you. If you're watching this on YouTube, thank you. If you want to catch me on Twitch, because I do broadcast live during the week, I broadcast Monday, Tuesday, Thursdays in the evenings, Eastern Standard Time, usually starting around 8:45, 9 o'clock, somewhere between that range is when I aim to start. If you're watching this on YouTube, I think you should get notifications if I'm live at any given point. So that's it's not the most easiest thing to check, but it's something there. You can also follow me on Twitter. I think my Twitter should be down in the info section or the description section, or the description below if it's on YouTube and everything. I still don't know who did this. I mean, this is literally this literally what you see, what she's talking about, this destroy the weakest alibi is what we have to do at this point, because there's somebody's alibi is not going to hold up after this, and that's where we have to go. Gundam's already looking a little suspicious, because why the fuck were you fighting that? But whatever. We'll see how it goes. Who do you think's alibi is the weakest at this point? Like, because I got no idea. Like, I'm sort of just being dragged along at this point. I can figure things out when they're asking me to figure things out, but I have no idea where to go for this, because who the hell knows what's even going on? But we'll figure that out a little bit later. In the next set, at least. But I'm going to get out of here, guys. I'm actually going to record more sets later tonight, but that'll be after I get back from Game of Thrones. So I'm going to go over to my friend's place. I'm going to go get some shaved ice cream, which is delicious. I'm going to go over to my friend's place, because he lives near a place like that. And then we're going to watch Game of Thrones. I'll come back, and I'll record more sets tonight. I should be able to get, like, probably 2 or 3 more sets in tonight. So that should get me through this trial, if not to the next chapter. And we'll go from there. But before I head out, I need one kindness from each and every one of you. Wish you have a good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, good day, whatever happens to be wherever you are at. I'm going to see you guys later in the next set for some more Danganronpa. Bye.